Committee will come to order. A quorum is now present, although I know some of our members are on a bus coming back from a late prayer breakfast. Let me welcome everyone. The plan today, we will then immediately adjourn and go upstairs for a classified briefing with the Defense Intelligence to follow up on our hearing yesterday about the state of the world. Before we get to that, it is a tradition to specifically introduce and welcome each of the new members to our committee. So let me do this side of the aisle right quick and then turn to Mr. Smith to introduce the members that he has so far on the other side of the aisle. First, I want to welcome Dr. Scott Desjarlais, representing Tennessee's 4th District, whose constituents are part of the workforce of Arnold Air Force Base, Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and Redstone Arsenal. 4th-term member, he's worked closely with this committee on force protection issues, especially after the center. Next to him is Dr. Ralph Abraham. So if we have any medical problems in our late night markup, we are set. Dr. Abraham represents Louisiana's 5th District, a voice for Louisiana's military installations. He's not only a medical doctor, he's also a veterinarian and served in the Army National Guard and is currently a Coast Guard auxiliary pilot. The chair next to him is filled by Trent Kelly, who represents Mississippi's 1st District, a colonel in the Mississippi Army National Guard. He served for 30 years as an engineer, including multiple tours in Iraq. It's good to see Mississippi represented again on this committee. Next to him is, oh no, Kelly's, I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Trent Kelly is here. The seat next to him, who's not here, is Dr. Mike Gallagher, another kind of doctor. He has a PhD from Georgetown, representing Wisconsin's 8th District. Mike served 7 years as a Marine Corps intelligence officer, including tours in Iraq, and has focused his work on counterterrorism and Middle East policy, including time at the National Counterterrorism Center and, unfortunately, the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, which we will have to work out of him as soon as we can. Now, next to him on the end is Gates, representing Florida's 1st District, home of one of the largest military districts in the country, including Naval Air Station Pensacola and Eglin Air Force Base. Matt is a recovering lawyer and joins us from his service in the Florida State Legislature. I think on the bus coming back from the prayer breakfast is Don Bacon, who represents Nebraska's 2nd Congressional District. He's a retired Air Force Brigadier General, commanded twice at the wing level at Offutt Air Force Base and at Ramstein. He deployed 4 times to the Middle East. Next is Jim Banks, who represents Indiana's 3rd District, home of the 122nd Fighter Wing of the Indiana National Guard. A naval supply officer, he's very recently completed a tour in Afghanistan and also chaired the Indiana State Senate Veterans and Military Committee. And finally, we have Liz Cheney, who represents Wyoming, home of F.E. Warren. Liz, of course, has served multiple policy roles in the State Department, including the 2nd-ranked official on U.S. policy in the Middle East. She's an accomplished author and commentator on American exceptionalism and national security and has provided assistance to this committee even before she was elected to Congress. So we are very pleased at each of the new members on our side of the aisle, as we are with all new members to this committee. Let me yield to Mr. Smith for any comments and introductions.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have 8 new members. We have 3 more coming, which, as I understand it, the Steering and Policy Committee will finalize tomorrow. So we'll introduce them when the time is appropriate. But we do have 8 new members, 6 of whom I believe are here. So we'll start with a couple who have been on this committee before and welcome them back. Colleen Hanabusa, who represents Hawaii's 1st District, which includes Camp H.M. Smith, headquarters of the United States Pacific Command. She is a lawyer by profession. As Mr. Thornberry said, we won't hold that against anyone. I'm a lawyer by profession. Fortunately, got over it. She returns to Congress and the Armed Services Committee, having previously served in 3 Congresses, 112th, 113th, 114th. So we welcome back her expertise and certainly Hawaii is a critical part of our national security team. So welcome back. Also returning is Carol Shea Porter, who represents New Hampshire's 1st District, which includes Peace Air Force National Guard Base and Portsmouth Naval Shipyard. She is also returning to Congress, having served in the 110th, 111th, and 113th, is the daughter of a Navy World War II veteran and was a military spouse while her husband served in the Army during Vietnam. Welcome back. We now have freshman members who are brand new to the committee, starting with Jackie Rosen, who represents Nevada's 3rd District, which is just south of Las Vegas. And just north of her district is Nellis and Creech Air Force Bases. And she comes to the committee with experience as a software developer and computer programmer for a variety of businesses in Nevada. Welcome. And we have Donald McKeechan, who represents Virginia's 4th District, which includes Fort Lee. He is the son of an Army veteran and a lawyer by profession. He joins the committee having previously the Virginia House of Delegates and the Virginia Senate. Next, we have Salud Carbajal, who represents California's 24th District, which includes Vandenberg Air Force Base, Camp Base Ventura County, and Fort Hunter Liggett nearby. He served 8 years in the Marine Corps Reserve, including previously served on the Santa Barbara County Board of Supervisors for 12 years. Thank you for joining us. Next, we have Anthony Brown, Maryland's 4th District, which borders Fort Meade and the U.S. Naval Academy. He is a retired colonel. He served in the Army from 1984 to 89 in the Army and was the recipient of the Brown Star while deployed in Iraq in 2004. He served in the Maryland House of Delegates for another 8 years. It's great to have your experience on the committee. 2 more members who are not yet here. Stephanie Murphy, who represents Florida's 7th District, which includes Naval Support Activity Orlando, which is involved in a range of research and development programs supporting the Department of Defense. She was in the Office of the Secretary of Defense, where she worked on a wide range of security issues from counterterrorism planning for the department. And last, we have Ro Khanna, who represents California, doing work with the Department of Defense. He served in the Obama administration as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of Trade and recently taught economics at Stanford University. And let me just say, in sum, in agreeing with the chairman, we have a remove of the aisle, as you can hear. I mean, the breadth of experience from military to technology for working with you. I yield back.
Yeah. Very well said. I completely agree. Our business, which is adoption of the Oversight Plan. This is, we sent it to you so that you've had a chance to look at it. Obviously, we touch on a number of topics in the flexibility so that we can adjust to changes that happen over the course of the next 2 years. We've worked on this collaboratively with adopted with the committee. What? Comments you'd like to make?
No, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Great. So let me officially call up committee resolution.
Committee Resolution Number 4, resolved that the Committee on Armed Services, U.S. House of Representatives, a copy of which has been distributed to each member.
Following consultation with Mr. Smith, I ask unanimous consent the resolution be considered as read and open for amendment at any point. Oversight Plan. Are there any amendments to the Oversight Plan? Chair recognizes the gentleman from Utah for the purpose of offering a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt the committee resolution.
The gentleman from Utah, so many in favor will say aye.
Aye.
Those who have it, the ayes have it. A quorum being present, the motion is adopted. Without objection, a motion to reconsider is laid upon the table. Without objection, committee staff is authorized to make changes to reflect the action of the committee in adopting committee resolution number 4. And I think that's all the business we have. Again, we will start immediately upstairs in 2212 with our classified briefing with the Defense Intelligence Agency. Committee stands adjourned. Thank you, sir.